Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where I break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today. Major changes could be coming to YouTube TV as it could be losing Fox-owned channels here as soon as today. Extensions are possible, a deal is possible. We'll break it all down and tell you everything happening. Also, Dish may be saved from bankruptcy thanks to AT&T. AT&T's giving them a lifeline of billions of dollars. We'll tell you what AT&T's getting out of this, and it still needs to be approved and different things. Also, Dish is raising the price on its TV service again for its satellite customers. We'll break these stories down and a lot more. Lots happening in the world of cord cutting and technology. We'll break it all down here and give you my opinion on them. If you want to learn about these stories I'm about to talk about, come up with your own opinion, check out the show notes down below and in the first pinned comment. I'll put a link to each story there so you can read them for yourself. Come up with your own opinions and let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you. If you want to get these all these stories in your email address, check out the show notes. I have a link there. You can sign up for our free daily newsletter where these stories and more can end up in your email box every day. So you can go back and check them. Great if you watch this on a television or maybe listening in the car and you want to come back later to find a story I've mentioned during the video. Lastly, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. That means they recommend our videos to more people, and hopefully we can help you break free from the high cost of TV and still still watch the shows that you enjoy. All right, let's dive into it. YouTube TV and Fox have announced that they are in talks to renew a contract deal, and it's not apparently going all that smoothly. They have announced that as of today, from the day I'm posting this, Thursday here, at 5 p.m. Eastern, their TV contract will come to an end. And if a new one is not reached or a temporary extension is not reached, they will see the channels go black. Now, a few things here. It's very typical for last-minute short-term extensions. We saw that with Spectrum, where 5 o'clock was the deadline for their Disney deal, and they pushed it to 8. And then, or 7 or 8, and then at 8 o'clock or wherever it was, they went dark that day. So it's very possible a short-term one. It's also possible we get a couple of days. We've seen that in the past where short-term deals happen for a few days, and then they end up going dark after that. So just because if they don't go dark on YouTube TV at 5 p.m. Eastern, doesn't mean they necessarily won't. Make sure to keep an eye over at corecarsnews.com for the latest. We'll be breaking it all down in real time as it happens. A few things with this. Why is it happening? Well, 2 things. Fox wants more money. YouTube doesn't. Of course, YouTube's probably not all that thrilled with the new Fox One streaming service that allows people to subscribe to Fox services. They also have a bundle deal coming with ESPN that'll give most football fans access to most sports cheaper than YouTube TV. You'll be able to get all the ESPN channels, ESPN and ABC, FS1, local Fox, and more. Add in an antenna for NBC and CBS games. And you can see why a $40 package of that can be very tempting to many college football or pro football fans. But, so there's a little give and take here. YouTube TV probably is like, hey, we're not willing to pay you a huge bonus. You're undercutting us and making it easier for people to get what we offer without us. And Fox says, well, we're Fox, and we have a huge amount of content. We got the most watched news network. We got one of the most watched cable networks, especially when it comes to sports. Or I should say cable broadcast TV networks with that. So we'll have to keep a close eye on this, how this plays out. This is a big test. The world of how television is distributed is changing. ESPN and Fox are both going direct to consumers with streaming services. Paramount's offered a live feed of their CBS locals through Paramount Plus. Peacock and different places are all changing how people are accessing sports and content in general. And it's putting the squeeze on YouTube TV. We'll see how this plays out. It's a balancing game, right? YouTube doesn't want to raise their price. Fox wants more money. Something's going to have to give between the two of these. We'll see how it plays out. But again, check out corecarsnews.com. Follow us on X. Follow us on Facebook. We'll be having real-time coverage. And as soon as we know something, it'll be posted there. Jess and I are eagerly keeping our eyes on this, and we'll let you know what we find out. All right, yesterday, AT&T and Dish's parent company, EchoStar, reached a deal to sell a good chunk of EchoStar's spectrum for its 5G wireless network to AT&T for $23 billion in cash. Now, this is a huge lifeline for Dish, who's been facing bankruptcy for some time, and now this could help save them out of that bankruptcy. A few things with this. Needs to get fully approved, all the regulatory concerns with this, with all that. I'm not sure how long that's going to take. But this also means that Dish will still have some of their own network, but this big envisioned plan to turn all the spectrum into a massive network to compete with AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon is probably not happening. Part of this deal allows Boost Mobile to use the AT&T network along with what Dish network has been built on spectrum they still own to continue to offer service. This breaks them free of T-Mobile, and does mean though that Boost Mobile, which is currently the 4th largest provider of wireless phones in the United States, will not be building its own network and solely running on its own 5G network. It will instead be partially running on the AT&T network, partially on the Dish network, in kind of a shared bandwidth, shared spectrum type deal here with this. This is huge. Dish has long seen, it's huge in two ways. For one, Dish has been on the verge of bankruptcy for a long time. Several times this year, they did not make payments, and there have been reports that they were preparing to enter bankruptcy. Every time they just kind of squeaked out a deal to avoid bankruptcy, and for now, that has worked. The FCC launched an investigation into Dish about its spectrum, attempted to claw some of that back, arguing Dish was not using it as the deal that to license that spectrum required them to. Dish hotly contested that, saying, no, we are doing everything we should. But ultimately, Dish needed money, and they've been struggling to get creditors and give them the money to finish building out their 5G network. Very expensive to build all these towers and finalize all this. With this, though, they're getting a quick $23 billion in cash that'll keep the company running. But it raises the question, what's next for Dish? 5G wireless networks was seen as the future of the company, not television. Remember, late last year, they tried to sell their television business to DirecTV for $1, and DirecTV absorbing all the debt that those companies had. Well, the debtors didn't like that deal, and it fell apart. Well, now they're kind of back. While Boost Mobile is still there, they still own it. They can still continue to sell that. But their big plan to build out a massive 5G network on this spectrum is going to change. Doesn't mean it's completely gone, but it's significantly different than it was. We'll have to see how this all plays out going forward. All right, and with that though, Dish has also announced a price hike. Its Dish TV customers will see an average of a $5 per month price hike with this on starting in September. With this on September 11th, the fees will go up. Customers have been notified of this. On your next bill thereafter that, you will get billed the higher rate. Now this comes as many of the plans, now don't forget this is plus fees, range from $69.99 for the very, very tiny basic plan all the way up to $152, plus fees and taxes on that. So that will be noticeably higher than the advertised price with it for their different plans. That $69.99 one is just their welcome pack. I would be very interested to see how many people even really subscribe to that pack. Doesn't really offer much what they want. Then it goes up from there from 70, 72, 87. But then when you get into the packages that I think most people get, like the America's Top 120, it's now $102.99 a month. And the 250 channel one is $127.99. I would argue, I would have to look at all these, but probably the $100-ish package is probably similar to what a lot of Fubo and YouTube TV offer. There's always going to be differences in the lineup. This will have some more of that or this. But then you have the fees and taxes in it. I don't have the channel lineup in me, but just keep that in mind. Whenever you hear, oh, just go back to cable, it's now cheaper. Cable and satellite keep going up in price at the same rate, roughly, that streaming services have also. All right, speaking of streaming, YouTube TV and YouTube have made some changes to their NFL Sunday ticket options. They are continuing to offer the monthly option. You'll be able to subscribe on a month-to-month basis now, where previously you sign up for a long-term contract for a year to pay monthly. With this, though, you pay $85 a month for the standalone NFL Sunday ticket, or $115 for a month-to-month YouTube TV and NFL Sunday ticket. This is a great option if you just really want to watch one particular game out of market. You want to sign up for a single month and call it good. Maybe it's the end of the year and it's coming down to who's getting that in the playoffs, who's not, and you want to make sure you get access. NFL Sunday ticket becoming more flexible for cord cutters with this. Again, you can watch it through YouTube or YouTube TV. You do not need a YouTube TV subscriber to be an NFL Sunday ticket viewer with it. All right, Pluto TV has announced nearly 200 new titles in September are coming there. Hundreds of movies are being added, including Bridget Jones' Diary, Sunset Boulevard, and more with this are being added to it. Many of them going live on September 1st. I got the full list in the show notes and in the first pinned comment. These are just the movies, the channels, and more. Pluto TV often doesn't announce everything coming. There's often surprises throughout the month, so we'll be keeping an eye on it. If you see anything new on Pluto TV, go to cordcuttersnews.com, hit that contact us button, send us a tip, not just about Pluto TV, about anything you may find. We do read everything, even when we can't respond. We get a lot of emails, but we do read everything and we are very thankful. A lot of your tips are directly the reason why we get these stories. All right, next up, Tubi's adding 3 new originals and dozens of movies themselves. Again, many of these going live in September, and including some classic shows like All in the Family. More seasons are coming with this, and newer content, including original programming made just for Tubi, now available. If you want to see the full list of Tubi content, again, in the show notes and in the first pinned comment. Today in TV history, 29 years ago yesterday, Seventh Heaven first premiered. Look back at the classic show, wildly popular show on the Warner Brothers network. Anybody remember the WBTV network? It's hard to believe, but Seventh Heaven was one of its bigger hits it had. It's been 29 years since that first showed. Any Seventh Heaven fans? Leave me a comment, let me know. All right, are you a fan of The Office? Well, its sequel, The Paper, will be very interesting to see how this does. Will this have anywhere near the following of The Office? We'll have to wait and see. But The Paper is coming to Peacock next month. Now, a few things with this. It's following a recent trend away from weekly releases. It will dump everything at once. Hulu just did that with the new King of the Hill season to great success. We'll see if The Paper is also as successful. Set in the world of The Office, it's a brand new documentary type crew following a new group of people in an office community. We'll watch it closely, but The Paper hitting Peacock soon all at once. Next up, hey, if you're a Fox One customer, you've been having some glitches where it looks like you're logged in, but when you try to stream it, it says you're logged out. You're not alone. Fox One has been experiencing some issues recently where I've heard multiple readers tell us they try to watch something and it tells them when they're logged out. If they go into the settings, it says they're still logged in, but they can't watch. The solution for now seems to be to completely uninstall the app, reinstall the app, or then reinstall it and log in, whether it's on a streaming player or on a mobile device, and then log back in. So uninstall, reinstall, log back in, and it fixes it. Your mileage may vary on how long until it pops back up, but hopefully Fox One gets that fixed soon. It doesn't seem to be too widespread, but it does seem to be happening enough that I've heard multiple reports of it. So check it out. Link in the show notes down below. I got full details on if you want the step-by-step guide on how to do that. The FCC is cracking down on robocalls. This has got something cord cutting related I'll get to in a minute, but 1,200 phone providers, smaller phone companies that connect to the phone system and allow people to make calls and receive calls, are being blocked by the FCC from connecting to American phone networks because the FCC says they are not doing enough to crack down on piracy, spam calls, etc. Now, we've seen a growing trend of these spam calls targeting cord cutters, where we see, for example, cord cutters getting calls saying, hey, you can get half off your internet. You have to, if you prepay for 6 months, get 6 months free, but you got to pay for it in a Bitcoin, or maybe you're paying for it with a Target gift card. I've gotten those calls pretending to be Comcast or Spectrum or different places, and I'm like, I don't even have your company. I don't even use your internet provider, but you're calling me? But we also see people pretending to be tech support from a specific streaming service and more. Be very careful of unsolicited calls offering you deals if you pay it over the phone. It's increasingly becoming scams. But it's good to see the FCC cracking down on it. I hope they continue to be very aggressive to crack down on these robocallers with it. Next up, now this one is very interesting. I have heard for years companies complained about this, but the U.S. government is threatening tariffs through the Trump administration on companies who are taxing U.S. tech giants with discriminatory digital rules. And what an issue here is U.S. tech companies over recent years have been getting massive fines put on them for a variety of different things. And in a way that many tech companies feel like these countries are really just trying to fund their bank accounts by demanding tens or hundreds of millions of dollars in fines from U.S. tech companies for not meeting some type of overly strict rule, or they think they're fully compliant and then they find out they're not. And instead of just trying to make themselves compliant, they're paying, $300 million or something. And there's been widespread speculation that companies are deliberately targeting, or countries are deliberately targeting American companies, trying to get money out of them by creating rules specifically meant to trip up or target U.S. tech firms in order to generate massive fees and fines. Now, the Trump administration is threatening retaliatory tariffs on them if they believe that countries are deliberately trying to basically entrap U.S. tech companies to try to generate revenue for the country. Now, I will say we've even seen some U.S. States start to do this, generating fines in order not to return money back to the affected person, but to get money into the state or local coffers. We saw that against Facebook recently in California, where they received a fine, and several state and city organizations received money, but no end consumer. And the Trump administration is arguing that's not good. Now, we'll wait and see how this plays out. Now, let me get this right out of the bat. There are legitimate times where tech companies do things they should not do and should face fines, and do face fines. So don't leave me a comment thinking I believe that tech companies never should be charged fines. There are plenty of bad tech companies out there. But on the flip side, there are instances where U.S. firms are facing real issues trying to do business around the world because they're being targeted deliberately to pay fines with it. We'll wait and see what happens with this, but I'm kind of personally, I've heard so many stories of this and people complain about it. I'm kind of glad it's getting some attention, and hopefully something can be done on it. And lastly, hey, are you a Twitch viewer? You may have noticed your favorite streamers have significantly lower viewers. Amazon's live streaming service has been cracking down on bots. Now, bots are fake viewers that will log on there and artificially inflate the number of viewers a streamer has. Now, a few things here. Companies or bot services will often bot people who aren't even paying them. So creators could pay a few hundred or a few $1,000s and get several hundred or several thousand viewers all year long or something. You drive up your viewer, makes people look at this and say, hey, wow, this looks cool. Somebody must really be watching this. Let me go and check that out, because they must be doing something cool to have 3 or 4 or 5 or 20,000 people watching them. But you also get those, we see this a lot, right? On X, there was a lot of things that, at presidential campaigns, this many of this presidential campaign person's Twitter followers are fake, and this person has this many. What happens a lot there is bots deliberately also view or follow other big creators to make them look like they're real, legitimate people doing this. And with that, we've seen some of the most massive, large Twitter streamers see significant drops in their viewership. Now, a lot of people are very much in support of this because it's made it difficult for legitimate players to get discovered, because Twitch heavily uses the number of people watching a stream to determine which stream they recommend, where you place on the chart on the, if you click on a game, who is at what level in that game to say, hey, this person's get 20,000 views, this one has 5, maybe I'll watch the person with 20, they must be doing something interesting, versus the person who only has 5 or 10 who's not. But then you find out that, 90% of the people with all the viewers, they're not real viewers. So it's interesting to see Twitch do this. They say this is the first round. These things end up being a bit of cat and mouse games where you see back and forth on it. You see viewers or bots find a way around it. Amazon cracks down on it. Viewer bots find a way around it. Amazon cracks down on it. I am very happy to see Amazon cracking down on it though. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. Until then, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. If you're this far in, maybe sign up for our daily newsletter. Get all of our links in your email every morning so you can go back and check out these stories over at courtcardsnews.com. And don't forget, we'll be following the YouTube TV Fox drama all day. We'll post everything we know. Don't be surprised if it doesn't go dark at 5. I would be shocked if they don't try to get some type of short-term deal. If they don't and it goes dark at 5, it probably means YouTube TV and Fox are very far apart on any deal. Usually if there's any progress or they feel like, hey, at least we're moving in the right direction, they'll try to do a short-term deal, give them a few more hours or maybe a couple more days before they pull the trigger on it. We'll wait and see what happens. Get your predictions in now. Will it go dark at 5? Will they get a deal or not? Let me know. Until next time, take care, be safe. I'll be back again real soon.